I'm reading this book, In Sheep's Clothing, Understanding and Dealing with Manipulative People. I'm going to read a quick few sentences from it really quick. In this video, I'm mostly going to be talking about with God and with time, you can be healed of your wounds and you don't have to be bitter and upset and just, feeling terrible or feeling that you're stupid, etc. But those are kind of natural feelings once you realize what's happened to you. He's talking about once the patients come for counseling, how you realize how dealing with that person in your lives made you feel crazy. You can't trust them, but you can't pinpoint why. And the victims often feel angry at them for some reason, but they usually end up feeling guilty once you confront your abuser or your manipulator, and you end up just on the defense. It says you get frustrated and find themselves frequently giving in when you really want to stand your ground. You really want to say no, but you say yes, and you become depressed because no matter what you do, you still end up feeling confused, exploited, abused, and your attempts are just fruitless to deal with or control your manipulator's behavior. There's another sentence over here that says he's going to be presenting how the assumptions that we try to make about why people act the way they do, explain why some of the most widely held beliefs about human nature tend to set us up to become victims by manipulators. And I'll just piggyback on that by saying, especially if you're in church, we're taught to be long-suffering, to be peacemakers, to be forgiving, and all that's great and wonderful, and we should be, because forgiving people gives you the power. They no longer have that power over you. Long-suffering, being the bigger person, being the more mature person, all that's great and wonderful, and that's how we should be. But we're not supposed to be just lie down and be a willing victim to let someone abuse you, manipulate you, take advantage of you. And often in church, we're taught that just do what you're supposed to do. And that's true. You should give it all, give it your all. If you're a wife, if you're a husband, you're supposed to put 100% into it. But when you're with a person who's immature and they are a manipulator or they're a narcissist or something, they're only going to look at that as a weakness, and they're just going to run with it. And it's sort of enabling them or creating a bigger monster. But you can't walk away saying, well, I tried. I did all that I could do, and that's wonderful. But you don't have to be a victim just to be, for the sake of being long-suffering and being a peacemaker. You can get out, and in time, God will heal you. Time will heal you. You won't be bitter and angry anymore and have resentments, have high blood pressure, your hair thinning and pimples and whatnot. You can let go with time, and that person, the individuals will no longer have that power over you. And you don't have to be a victim for the sake of being Christian and long-suffering and forgiving and kind. And your wounds, you can be healed. You don't have to slash those tires. You don't have to shoot up the car. You don't have to do any of that. In time, you can be healed. And don't be a victim just for the sake of, being a Christian. Yes, turn the other cheek in love. But you can't raise a man, can't raise a woman. You can't fix anybody. Only God can.